I'm Anna, and I have a crazy story to tell you. But before I do, please like and subscribe. I grew up in an orphanage, and ever since I was little, I was surrounded with people who loved me. They said I had the prettiest blue eyes, and my smile could brighten up a room.
I'm sure you'll get adopted by someone amazing, and you'll live like a princess.
I wish, but I don't want to leave you guys too. I loved my life there, but I wanted a real family too. My wish came true when I turned 5, and a rich supermodel, Clara, adopted me. She traveled a lot for work, and I became favorite travel buddy. When I turned 16, I started a YouTube channel documenting all my travels, and within 2 years, it had more than 20 million subscribers. Life was great, but then one day, everything changed. I was in the cafeteria when my best friend Candace came running to me. We'd been friends ever since I got featured on her channel where she pranked people.
You've got to see this, Anna. There's a girl who looks exactly like you.
Candy, is this another one of your dumb pranks? I still haven't forgiven you for stuffing fear-fake spiders in my locker.
Girl, I'm not fooling around. Trust me. Now get up.
Just then, a girl swooshed past the crowd and hugged me, and when I saw her face, I almost passed out. We were identical. Holy mother of toads! Told ya!
It's really you, Anna.
Yeah, but who the heck are you, and why do you look like me? The girl told me her name was Jamie, and she was my twin sister. My head spun in 1,000 directions as I pulled her to the side to talk. Okay, tell me everything.
My parents. Our parents are from Hawaii, and that's where I grew up. It's a beautiful place. You should visit. Oh, wait. I'm sure you've already been there since you've been everywhere.
Get to the point, Jamie.
Sorry. So I didn't know I had a sister till I saw your videos. I am so happy to have found you.
How are you so sure I'm your sister? Maybe we're just two people who look exactly like each other.
When I saw you, I confronted our parents, and they told me that they gave you up because they couldn't afford 2 kids.
That makes no sense.
Listen, I get it. I look like a homeless person, and you're, well, a queen. I know it's difficult to trust me, but we can get a DNA test to confirm it.
And we did take the test. When the results came out, I was shocked. She really was my sister. I was happy and hurt at the same time. The next few days, Jamie and I hung out a lot. She told me she was here on scholarship and was living in some shabby hostel. So I asked Clara if she could live with us.
I don't know. I mean...
Please, please. You're so busy these days, and I could use some company.
But you hardly know her.
She is my sister. Clara eventually caved and Jamie moved in. We set up a room and stayed up all night, talking. Slowly, we got close, and Jamie even helped me shoot my videos. One day we were shooting in the schoolyard when Liam, the hottest guy in school, walked up to me.
Wow, and here I thought you couldn't look prettier.
Yeah, says the guy who has the whole town drooling over his looks. Did you get a new haircut?
She noticed.
As Liam left, Jamie smirked at me.
You totally like him.
No, I don't. I mean, he's cute and all, but I don't know. We've been friends for so long.
Okay, that was a total lie.
I've had the biggest crush on Liam, but I wasn't sure if he liked me that way, so I kept my feelings to myself till I found a good time. The next few weeks, I took Jamie with me everywhere, and Candace wasn't too thrilled.
She's always around. It's annoying.
Give her some time. You'll warm up to her. Now let's get this video started. Our fans are waiting. Just then, Jamie walked in with drinks, tripped on the cords, and sent the soda splashing all over the computer screen.
Get off me. You ruined everything. Do you know how much money went into the system?
I'm sorry. Please don't worry. Be mad. I slipped. Just tell me what you want me to do. I'll get a job and replace all of this. Should I sell my phone? I'll even sell my hair. Oh shoot, can't I just...
Jeez, Jamie, chill out. Accidents happen. Candy, I'll replace your stuff. Let's not make a big deal out of this. Candace left angrily, and Jamie cried all day until I took her out for ice cream, and she finally shut up. We even decided to stay home that weekend because Jamie was so bummed out. But then Liam invited me for a party, and I couldn't say no. I asked Jamie to tag along, and she reluctantly agreed. But my jaw dropped when I saw her dressed up. Wow, you look well like me.
It's nice, right? I wanted to make an impression as your sister. Can't let your reputation stink just because I do.
Don't say that. You look great. We were having a blast at the party, and And thankfully, Candace was in a good mood, and she and Jamie made up. I was getting some drinks when Liam tapped on my shoulder.
I'm glad you showed up.
How could I not? It's your party.
Listen, I've been wanting to tell you something, but I was waiting for the right time. I like you, Anna. Like, a lot. And something tells me you like me too.
Liam,
Anna, we have to. Oh my god. I'm interrupting something, right? I'm so stupid. Are you mad at me? I think you are. Maybe I should leave. Orient. No. Wait. I don't have a car or money for a cab. It's okay. I'll hitchhike with some stranger. Hopefully he won't be a kidnapper or a weirdo.
Oh my god, Jamie. You know what? Let's just leave together. I'll talk to you in school. Liam? We left, and I couldn't help feeling annoyed with Jamie. But when we reached home, Jamie's phone rang, and she went to take the call. But when she came back, I could tell she was crying. What's wrong?
Our parents want me to pull out of school and come back home immediately. You know, Anna, I've never had a friend because Mom and Dad just wouldn't let me leave the house. I hate them. They're crazy.
It can't be that bad, Jamie. They chose you over me, so I guess they do love you. I just wish I could ask them why they had...
That's it. We should switch places. You'll get your answers and I'll get some time to think about how to convince them to let me stay here.
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Sure it is. Aren't you even a little bit curious about them?
I was curious about my parents, and maybe going as Jamie wasn't a bad idea. But I couldn't tell Clara. What if she didn't like the idea of me meeting my birth parents? And definitely not Candace, because she would just talk me out of it. We decided to do the switch over the weekend since Clara was out of town. Soon, I was on a plane to Hawaii, and when I reached Jamie's house, I kind of teared up seeing my birth parents, but they looked terrified.
Quick, come inside now before someone sees you.
Hello? No, hi, how are you?
Oh, I really hope no one saw you. Just go and clean up and we'll talk.
That was weird. I figured out which room was Jamie's and started to unpack. I was just wondering what to say to them when they walked in.
Jamie, how are you? Are you okay? We wanted to talk to you about that money, but you're probably tired. Let's do it in the morning. Here's some food.
With that! Mom put the plate on the floor and ran faster than a bullet. Jamie was right. These people were crazy. I wanted to confront them immediately, but I was too tired and fell asleep. But the next morning, I woke up to loud banging noises.
We know she's in there.
Open
up. You can't hide her forever.
What's happening? Guys?
You shouldn't have come back. Jamie, why are you here?
Stop yelling. And I'm not Jamie. I'm Anna. You know, the daughter you once had.
What? Did you stop your medication again? Just go inside and let us handle these people.
My birth parents went outside to calm the crowd. An hour later, we sat down and I told them everything. About me being Anna, them being my real parents, the adoption, everything. They looked completely stunned.
Anna, this is not true. It is true that Jamie's our daughter, but she's adopted.
What do you mean? You're not my birth parents.
We took Jamie in when she was just 2, and the adoption agency did tell us she had a twin. But we could only adopt one kid, and she was really sick, so we decided to take her in.
We loved her and did everything to make her happy, but she was always looking for more. She stole from us and borrowed from everyone in town and never paid anyone back.
That explains all the angry people this morning.
Yes, we had to sell whatever we had to pay them back, but it wasn't enough. When she told us she wanted to go to New York to study, we thought maybe she'd changed for the better. But now you're telling us she found you and she's in your home.
She's not fine. Anna, you need to go back now.
I immediately packed my stuff, but as luck would have it, Hawaii got hit by a hurricane. Thankfully, it was a small one, and flights were cleared to go after 2 days. I tried reaching out to Clara, but she was shooting in a remote location and my calls weren't going through. Just then, I saw in my Insta stories that Candace was having a party and Jamie was there too. So I headed there. But when I reached the party, my heart fell to my stomach watching Liam making out with freaking Jamie. Get off him, you freak!
Oh my god. You're back. I thought you were gone for good.
What have you gone completely crazy? Jamie,
I'm Anna.
no, you're not. I am...
Really? Then why are you dressed like that? Babe, make her leave, please.
Candy, you know me. I'm Anna.
Okay, Jamie, you need to leave before I call the cops. Anna told us how you stole from her and how she kicked you out. You can't make a fool out of me.
Clearly not, since you're already acting like one. Candace pushed me away, and I was shocked beyond words. Crushed. I went home only to find out that Jamie had told the guards not to allow me in my own house. This was officially the worst day of my life. Thankfully, I had my credit card, so I booked a hotel room. The next day in school, I was stunned to see that Jamie had taken over my life completely and had all my friends wrapped around her fingers. I had to do something to expose her before it got any worse. So I set my phone to record and waited until Jamie was alone. Do you really think you can pull this off? No one will believe you.
Jamie, please. What do you want from me? Stop torturing me.
She took the phone from my pocket and threw it away, breaking it to pieces.
Don't act smart with me, or I'll be your worst nightmare.
Jamie smirked and left. I had to outwit her. But how? No one believed me. I skipped school for the day and went back to the hotel. Just as I put my bag down, someone knocked on my door. Clara.
Anna, thank God you're okay. I just landed and tried to call you, but I couldn't get through. Then I saw you'd used your credit card and booked a place here.
Jamie, I'm sorry, Mom. I should have listened to you and not trusted Jamie at all. Clara calmed me down and I told her everything. I thought she'd scold me, but instead, she hugged me and took me home. She even told the guards not to allow Jamie in and informed Jamie's parents. Obviously, that didn't go down well with Jamie.
What is happening? I did you a favor by not throwing you in jail for robbing me, but after this...
What? You'll tell everyone that I'm you and you're me? You can fool my friends, but you cannot fool my mom or your own parents. Suddenly, Jamie saw her parents walk in and turned white as a sheet.
Is this some kind of joke? Who are these poor people? Get off me.
Jamie, let's go home. Honey, enough of this.
What home? This is my home.
Listen, girl, you're not my daughter. So pack your stuff and leave, or I'll call the police.
Jamie tried to protest, but she knew it was pointless. She left soon after, and I didn't press charges. I only wanted my life back, and jail time would have ruined Jamie's life. She was a witch, but she was still my sister. A week later, I went back to school, and Candace walked up to me.
Baby, I'm so sorry. I should have known.
It's cool. I just wanted to get past everything. Candace and Liam apologized, and a few months later, Liam and I started dating. He even joined me on my travel adventures. And things went back to normal, or so I thought. A year later, I was in Italy with Liam for a shoot. It was pretty late when I got to the hotel, but as soon as I entered, I realized someone was in my room. My blood froze to see Jamie grinning at me. How? How did you get in?
We're identical, remember? It wasn't difficult to get the master key from the manager. Tell me, are you enjoying living my life?
What do you want?
I want what's rightfully mine. I should have been the one adopted by a rich family, but instead I got thrown into a dump. While you're living like a princess, you have everything. The big house, the perfect mom, the golden boy. That's just not fair, is it?
Jamie stared at me with murder in her eyes. I tried to say something, but words just fell out of my mind. Suddenly, I heard a huge crash, and Liam rushed in with the police.
Are you okay, Anna?
Liam told me how someone on the hotel staff had seen Jamie come in, and then I walked in. 5 minutes later,
They were confused and called me. Since you weren't answering, it wasn't hard to guess it was Jamie.
He's lying. I am. Anna.
enough! Stay away from my guy and my life. I can't believe I ever called you my sister. You psycho! Rot in jail for a long, long time. The police took Jamie away and I never saw her again. It took me a while to get over the episode, but with therapy and support from friends and family, I'm better and thriving.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn and I'm from Brooklyn. Please like and subscribe. My twin sister Brooke and I were born to a single mother, and we were the prettiest set of twins with gorgeous blonde hair.
Oh dear, I've always wanted a daughter, but each time God gave me these good-for-nothing devils. How about you give me one of your girls?
Just then, I bit the woman on the hand and she ran for her life.
Broccoli! How many times have I told you not to be so violent?
And Brooke, Mommy, Ashlyn.
Mum was shocked because usually Brooke was the one with a nasty temper and I was the well-behaved child, but I just couldn't help it. People always tried to take us away because of our super long hair, which even Mum thought was going to make us super famous one day. But I wasn't very fond of the whole famous thing. I was a studious kid and I loved books. And Brooke was the polar opposite of me. Everyone at school was her friend, and she was head of the drama club with a huge fan following. In the 6th grade, I topped my grades, and Mum took us to a fun fair as a treat. But on our way, she bumped into a friend, and while I checked out the stalls, Brooke went on to buy some ice cream. But minutes later, I heard her scream. I ran to check, and some guy was fighting with her over the last piece of ice cream flavor they both wanted.
I was here first! Let go, you crazy witch!
Hey, leave my sister alone!
Give it to me now, or both of you will go home crying.
Suddenly, Brooke took the ice cream and shoved it into his face, and the guy went bonkers. He took out the biggest ball of gum I'd ever seen and shoved it straight into the back of Brooke's head. OMG! I kicked him in his knee and he fell into the pig pen in the petting zoo. Now, Brooke's head looked like a bird's nest, and Mum almost fainted when she saw Brooke. She immediately took her to the hairdresser, but even the hairdresser freaked out when she saw the giant mess.
There is no way we can remove this. We'll have to cut it all.
What? No! But since there was no other option, they gave Brooke a buzz cut, and she looked devastated the entire way home. I tried to cheer her up.
It's just hair, Brooke. It'll grow back in no time.
But she didn't say a word. And when we reached home, she ran up to her room and locked herself in. So I tried different ways to cheer her up. This time,
I baked your favorite cookies. Brooke, open up. I asked Mom to buy tickets for the BTS concert, and she agreed. I'm gonna be a mom, Brooke.
And that's when she finally opened up.
God, you're so dramatic.
So are you. Could it be we're related?
Days later, when the school reopened for the new session, I made Brooke wear a wig. But since it was summer, Brooke kept scratching her head like crazy the entire time.
Oh God, please stay away from me. I think she has lice.
How dare you even say that? She does not have lice.
Right then, the boy sitting behind Brooke noticed her wig coming off and he pulled it off.
Oh God, she's a baldy.
Wow, we can finally tell Brooke and Ashlyn apart. The pretty-haired one is Ashlyn, and the bald one is Brooke.
All the kids burst out laughing and Brooke looked furious. She jumped on the kid who pulled her wig and grabbed his hair until he let out screams. The teacher pulled her away and was about to send her to the principal when I begged her to let it go. And thankfully, Brooke got away with a warning. But the next morning when Brooke came down, Mom and I were shocked.
Did you forget your wig, sweetie?
Everyone knows what I look like now, Mom, and it makes me itch.
Come on, honey. You wouldn't want to go out of the house looking like an egg.
Mom, I think you look cool. Brooke.
Whatever, I don't need your approval.
Huh? What was that about?
At school, I warned all the kids to not mess with my sister, but it seems like Brooke didn't care about it anyway. And then one time, I was in the school's hallway when Brooke's drama club members came up to me.
Ashlyn, Brooke left the club, but we really need a pretty girl lead for the play. Can you take the role? Please, please.
They kept begging me to replace Brooke and didn't leave until I said yes. But just then, a boy walked past me and I dropped all my books.
Hey, watch it, dude!
But when he turned around, I was shocked to see it was Brooke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I didn't see it was you.
Yeah, that's the thing, Ash.
Saying that she just turned around angrily and walked away. And I felt so stupid for not recognizing her. After that day, something changed in Brooke, and she started to talk to me less and less, and Mum only made things worse. Every time we'd go out, she'd made Brooke wear a captain. A few weeks later, when we got home from school, Mom was screaming with joy.
Oh, honey, I have great news. Some weeks back, I had sent Brooke's photos to a company that was looking for a new model. And guess what? They selected her.
For the first time in ages, I saw a huge smile on Brooke's face. And then Mom said,
"But now Ashlyn will have to play the part."
What are you saying, Mom?
Mom told us that the company wanted to use a model for their new hair products. And since Brooke had lost her hair, my natural hip-length blonde hair made me perfect for the part. Just then, Brooke took a vase on the table and smashed it to the ground.
How can you do this to me? Those were my pictures. I was the one who got selected. She cannot take my place.
But what can we do if your hair won't grow back? It's been like that for months now, and God knows if it's ever gonna grow back.
Listening to Mom's words, Brooke ran to her room crying, and I told Mom I was not gonna do it.
Oh, Ash, I wish I'd never have to tell you this, but things are really tough at work for me right now. They might even fire me, and I'm so worried about how I'm gonna take care of my girls.
Seeing Mum so stressed, I had to say yes to the offer. But now Brooke was super mad at me, especially after Mom took her to the doctor and we discovered that her hair growth rate had slowed down drastically. For For some reason, that's why her hair was taking so long to grow back. Later that night, when I was sleeping, I felt someone pulling my hair, and when I opened my eyes, I saw it was Brooke trying to cut it off.
OMG, Brooke, are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm crazy. And now I'm going to turn you into me.
Luckily, Mum came in just then and pulled her away. She scolded Brooke real hard, and after that day, Brooke stopped talking to me. The next week, Mum took me to the audition, and when I got the part, we had to fly to Los Angeles for the whole year, but Brooke was not happy about moving at all.
I don't understand why we have to leave everything behind just because of her.
Why can't you be happy for your sister? Brooke, this is a huge deal. And honestly, it's not like you have a lot of friends here. You could use a fresh start, too.
Despite Brooke's protests, we moved to LA. The campaign I did became a huge success in no time, and my ads were everywhere, on buses, on billboards, and on TV. By the time I turned 15, I had a huge portfolio of modeling work, and Mom had become my manager, and she decided to enroll me into a private school.
Honey, you're a celebrity now. Your safety and education has to come first.
I was more than excited to finally have proper schooling after all these years of modeling. And I asked Mum to enroll Brooke with me too. But as soon as we entered our new school, kids came running at me to take autographs and selfies, and they'd follow me everywhere I go, and I just hated it. But there was someone who loved seeing me so miserable. Brooke. Over the years, I tried to include her in everything I did. I would even get designer dresses for her to join me on the red carpet, but she'd just toss them away in the trash.
What is wrong with you, Brooke? I got the dress specially made for you.
I don't need your charity, Ash. Especially when everything you are right now is because of me.
I hated the bitterness Brooke had in her heart for me, and I wished I could just remove that.
Don't you worry about her, sweetheart. You have no time for her jealousy. You just focus on your work.
Time went by, and Brooke grew confident in her own look and joined a local modeling agency. And I decided I was going to leave the world of fame and finally focus on my studies. But the same day, Mum told me that I'd been cast as the lead for a huge movie.
But Mom, I told you I didn't.
Oh, honey, this is the last time, I promise. It's just that I made an agreement, and now if you say no, we'll have to pay a huge sum of money cancelling it.
Okay, but it's the last time.
A few days later, we had the announcement party for the movie, and Mum was taking me shopping for it when a card fell from her bag. It was an invitation card for Brooke's first play at the theatre, where she was playing the lead role.
Mom, we should definitely go to CheerBrookon. This will mean so much to her.
It's the same day as the announcement party of your movie, and that's more important.
But I totally disagreed. I left Mom at the movie party and slipped off to see Brooke's performance, and she was awesome. I didn't find her in the dressing room, but I left flowers for her and left. My movie started shooting soon after, and I was a bit starstruck when I met the male lead actor, Tom. He was a super famous movie star at the age of just 20, and he had a huge fan following. But he was really nice and instantly made me comfortable. And over the course of the shooting, we became really good friends. On my 18th birthday, Tom even surprised me with a cake and congratulated me. But just then, I noticed Brooke outside my dressing room. I stepped out to see her, but she was already gone. And then I didn't see her the entire day. But the next morning, I woke up to the worst nightmare of an actor. My phone was buzzing like crazy, and pictures of me hugging Tom. And rumors of our link up were all over the news. But there was no way anyone from the set could have leaked those pictures. And that's when I remembered seeing Brooke on the set the day before. Holy freaks! I couldn't believe she'd stooped so low. Later, when I came out of the house, there were paparazzi everywhere, and I had to disguise myself to go for the shoot. When I reached the set, we were about to start shooting when Tom's girlfriend came on set and threw the newspapers in my face.
You homewrecker! How dare you try to steal my boyfriend, you ugly-faced lizard!
I didn't steal anyone. It's all fake news.
Babe, can you please calm down?
But she didn't calm down and tried to attack me. Just then, Brooke came from behind and dumped a slushie on that witch's head. And security pulled her away for trying to create chaos on the set.
Brooke, what are you doing here after ruining my reputation?
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, stop it. I saw you at the set yesterday. And I know you're the one who sent my pictures with Tom to the media.
Have you completely lost it? I wasn't the one who did it. It was Mom.
What? The freaking Funyuns.
Mom was the one who sent your pictures to the media. I heard her talking on the phone this morning. That's what I just came here to tell you.
But I saw you on the set last night.
'Cause it was our birthday, dummy. You came to see my play even when you had a huge movie party. And it meant a lot to me. So I thought I'd repay the favor by visiting you. But as soon as I reached here, I received an important call and I had to go back.
But that wasn't all. Brooke told me she had doubts that Mum had been up to no good. And when we investigated it, we found out that Mum had been stealing from me and filling her bank accounts. Holy freak. She was a blood-sucking mosquito. The next day, Mum came screaming with joy at us.
I've got the best news, Ash. I signed you up for 3 more movies, and we're gonna be super rich now.
So that's why you sent my pictures to the media.
What? Who told you that? And even if I did, look at the bright stars. Beside all that publicity and dating rumors with the superstar, have got you 3 more movies.
But you sold your own daughter for money.
Shut up, Brooke!
Enough, Mom. We are not kids anymore whom you can manipulate so easily.
Yeah, you broke our trust and stole from your own child. You're the worst lying butt manipulator that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, don't say that, Ash. I did everything for you guys.
You're a liar, Mom. You did everything for yourself. And that's why I've canceled all your contracts and removed you from my manager's position.
No, you can't do that.
Guess what? We already did.
Suddenly, Mum completely lost it and tried to attack me. But thankfully, Brooke had called security and the cops and they took her away.
I'm so sorry, Ash. I always thought you were a bad person and always blamed you for everything. But Mom was the real devil and played with us as she wished.
It's all right, Brooke. You have nothing to apologize for. But yeah, I don't think I can continue to shoot this stupid movie. How about you take my place in it?
Really? You mean it?
Of course.
Hi, my name is Serafina. Before we jump into today's story, please like and subscribe to Luna Avatar.
My first memory of Mom is her voice singing lullabies to me every night. It was the most beautiful sound in the world. Mainly because the moment she stopped, I'd start screaming again. By the time I was 16 months old, I could hum every lullaby perfectly. My dad, a piano genius, taught me beautiful notes and how to put them together, and I was totally obsessed with it. On Dad's 30th birthday, there was a grand celebration at our mansion. Right after everyone started toasting, I climbed up on a table and began singing the birthday song. Suddenly, the whole room went silent, ready to take in my first performance.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
When I finished, I realized my voice could make a grown man cry.
Oh my god, that's exactly the voice of an angel.
I always had a feeling Serafina was gifted. I'm so proud of you, darling.
Right after that, my parents hired the best musicians in the city to coach me in vocals and music theory. At every party my parents and their friends hosted, they'd invite me to perform, and they even paid me for it. My life was perfect. Until one day, everything changed. When I was in the 2nd grade, my dad had just returned from meeting with some partners overseas. I froze when I saw a little girl with sad eyes, holding a stuffed bunny, step out of the car too. She was trying to hide behind Dad, but he gently pushed her forward.
This is Annabelle, Serafina. She's your sister, and she'll be living with our family now. Will you take care of her?
I looked into her scared, dark eyes and immediately took her hand. Always! But from the moment Annabelle showed up, a dark shadow, like the dress she wore, was cast over our happy home. It started with a huge fight between my parents that evening, and both of us overheard it.
You've broken my heart. She reminds me of my worst nightmare, and I have to see it every day. She can't stay here. I won't raise a child that isn't mine.
She has nowhere to go. Her mother's gone. I know you hate me right now, but please don't take it out on her. She's just a kid.
I didn't want Annabelle to hear this, so I said, "Come on, I'll play something for you. What's your favorite song?" I didn't fully understand what was happening, but one thing was clear. Mom hated Annabelle. She ignored her like there wasn't any child in the house besides me, but my dad and I were different. We adored her. Maybe it was because I could see the sadness and loneliness in my sister's eyes, and we more than made up for Mom's ice-cold attitude. But in the 8th grade, we got news one day that made our whole world come crashing down. Dad had been in a terrible car accident, and he was gone. We were all devastated, but Mom just shut herself up in her room for weeks. One night, while I was reading a Snow White story to Annabelle, Mom suddenly burst into the room and started yelling.
What are you doing in my daughter's room? You're just a poor maid.
Mom, are you okay? She's not a maid, this is Annabelle, remember?
Yes, Annabelle. How could I forget her? Everything got worse when she showed up. No, everything is exactly her fault.
I stared in horror at Mom as Annabelle started to cry.
Pack your things first thing in the morning, Annabelle. Are you planning to sleep with this filthy maid tonight?
What? No, she's not going anywhere. Dad said she's my sister.
Either she goes to the maids or the orphanage. This is her last night here.
As Mom was leaving, she suddenly pounced at Isabel, grabbed her stuffed bunny, and threw it in the fire.
No, my mom made that!
Annabelle cried for hours and I hugged her to sleep. What had happened to my mom? The very next day, Annabelle had to move to the maids' quarters despite my strong protests. She was still allowed to go to school, but she had to do house chores in her free time. I was scared she'd be sent away, so I stopped fighting with Mom, but I'd sneak food to her and help her with her homework at night. At school, we could always hang out together. But one day, I started trembling when I saw my mom show up at school, heading straight to the principal's office. Oh my God! Maybe my worst fear was about to come true. Mom, what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm here to withdraw Annabelle from school, of course.
You can't do that! She has to go to school!
Why? She's never going to be anything but a maid like her stupid mother. Education is a complete waste on someone whose future is just sweeping floors and cleaning rooms.
As she turned around, I grabbed Mom's wrist. If you make her drop out of school, I will too, and I'll tell everyone why. Are you sure you want everyone to know how you really treat Annabelle? Mom, Dad would be so disappointed in you. Mom looked shocked, then angrily pulled her arm away and left I'd won this little battle. But God knows what she'd do next. Things weren't great at home, but at least I had Eric. He was my boyfriend for 2 years and was just crazy about my voice one evening when I was on a date with him. I suddenly started getting calls from Annabelle.
Come home right now, Serafina!
I ran home to a scene of complete chaos. Mom was tearing apart Annabelle's room. What's going on?
Your dad's watch is missing, and I'm going to search all the maids' rooms, and when I find it, I'm kicking out the thief for good.
Just then, a servant came from another room saying it was under Mom's personal maid's bed. Mom looked completely shocked to find out it was her, but she threw her bags out instantly. Some days later, it was Annabelle's 13th birthday, and I snuck into her room with a cake when she blew the candles out. I asked her what she'd wished for.
I wished your mom was dead.
Annabelle, you don't mean that? She's my mom. Annabelle stayed silent, and I got up to leave. I'd never seen that look of hatred on my little sister's face before. In the middle of all this drama, I had a huge audition coming up. A prestigious music academy was looking for talent from different schools, and being selected would be a dream. But 5 days before the audition, I woke up with my throat hurting. I called out to the maid, but to my horror, my voice was gone. Mom rushed me to the doctor who diagnosed me with laryngitis. What he said next left me shocked.
Your voice will return to normal soon, but this is the end of your singing. If you strain your vocal cords too much, you could lose your voice permanently.
I just couldn't believe it. On the day of the auditions, I slipped into the auditorium with Eric, feeling devastated. I wanted to be up on that stage more than anything. And then one of the judges said,
"The last performer is Miss Annabelle."
Wait, what? Annabelle stepped onto the stage and started singing.
Don't know what you wanna achieve, but make a
I was stunned. Her voice was beautiful. The judges gave her a standing ovation and said they'd be in touch with her. Soon as everyone started to leave, I caught up with her. Annabelle, that was amazing. But why didn't you tell me you could ever sing like that? She brushed my arm off angrily, her eyes blazing.
You never asked. You just assume that you're the only one with any talent. But I guess that's something we both got from our father. It makes you unhappy, doesn't it?
Why would you say that? I've always had your back, Annabelle.
Yet I've been living as a maid in my dad's house for years, and you did nothing. You think sneaking me food makes up for how I'm treated? No, it doesn't. All it does is make you feel good about yourself.
Annabelle, I tried.
Oh, nice try. I hate you, Serafina.
As she stormed off, I felt heartbroken. As Eric walked me back home that evening, suddenly, a skateboarder came charging straight at him. I pushed Eric out of the way just in time, but he landed on the pavement, hitting his head. I quickly called an ambulance, and after hours of waiting at the hospital, we were shocked to get the news Eric was in a coma. The doctors were hopeful he'd wake up soon. But weeks turned into months, and before I knew it, a year had passed. I was almost done with high school, and Annabelle was in her music academy on full scholarship, but we never spoke anymore. One day when I went to see Eric, I was shocked to see him sitting up in bed.
Oh my God, you're awake!
He gently pushed me away.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Eric, it's me, Serafina, your girlfriend!
Can you sing?
Yes, well, I used to, but then I got sick and had to stop, remember?
No! I just know that my girlfriend sings beautifully. I couldn't move or see all these months, but she'd talk and sing to me often. And I could hear her. I know her voice. And it's not you.
Suddenly, my blood ran cold when I heard someone behind me.
Babe, that was me. You could hear me?
Annabelle?
Yes, it's you.
She ran forward and hugged him, and then they kissed. Suddenly, I just lost it. I pulled Annabelle by her hair. Are you completely crazy? You've been visiting my boyfriend and singing to him. Tell him you're lying.
I am not. He's mine. Let me go, witch.
And suddenly she pushed me viciously and I went flying into a trolley. I attacked her and we went crashing straight into the machines. And the next thing we knew, we were both thrown out of the hospital. I turned furiously to Annabelle. We're done for good. You become a hateful monster. I don't even know who you are anymore. But you're definitely not my sister. Finally! And with that, she left. I went on a very long walk to clear my head. And by the time I got home, Annabelle was gone. The next morning, Mom discovered a lot of things were gone too, including Dad's watch.
Heck! I'm going to report her to the police. I'm going to.
Mom, just stop it. She's gone. That's what you wanted since you first saw her, right? And so what if she took Dad's stuff? It's hers too. Let it freaking go. A year later, I went off to university to study music. If I couldn't sing anymore, I could still play in my final year. I was leaving the campus one day when I stepped on a newspaper. It had Eric and Annabelle's face on the front page with the headline "Billionaire to tie knot in 2 weeks." Well, good for them. But just a few days later, I walked into a coffee shop. And to my shock, I saw Eric there. And he was kissing a blonde girl. That definitely wasn't Annabelle. I just walked away. It wasn't my problem. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. And when her wedding day arrived, I just could not do anything. Even if she hated me. She was my freaking little sister. And that's how I found myself bursting into the church and running like crazy down the aisle. Hold it! This wedding can't happen! As Annabelle turned to look at me in horror, I ran straight at her and hugged her. I held onto her tight as she squirmed and shrieked.
Oh my god, you psycho! Get off me!
I love you, Annabelle! I'm not going anywhere till you listen to me! As Eric looked super mad and everyone stared at us, she dragged me off to a small room.
What do you think you're doing, Serafina?
Annabelle, you can't marry Eric. He's a cheater. I saw him kissing a girl the other day. I swear I'm not lying.
Think I don't know about that? Well, I do. And it doesn't matter. I stole your man, and hell take care of me. At least I got rid of you and your psycho mom, so just buzz off.
Annabelle, listen to me. You're just angry right now. I'm so sorry about everything. Mom was unbelievably cruel to you, and I should have fought harder. You deserved so much better, and you still do. Don't marry this jerk, please.
Why do you care?
Because you're my little sister and I miss you so much. I had 2 things that I loved the most. My voice and you. I lost my voice for good. And I don't want to lose you too. Please forgive me and come with me.
Oh, Serafina, I'm so sorry for all the horrible things I did to you. I thought I wanted to marry Eric too, tease you. But I now realize that everything I've been doing in my life was to not end up alone. I just wanted to belong to someone.
You belong to me. You're my family. I made a promise to Dad to take care of you. And I will, always. And with that, we hugged each other and walked back to our home. Family always comes first. Hello, everyone. My name is Brew, and this is my story. Before I continue, please like and subscribe to my channel. I was brought up by a single dad who worked very hard to give me a good life. We didn't have much, but Dad and I had each other, and it was enough.
Always work hard and success will follow. Got that, little birdie?
I'll say yes if you buy me ice cream.
Dad and I were close, and we would talk about everything under the sun. Well, everything except Mom. Every time I tried asking Dad about Mom, he would avoid the topic like the plague. And eventually I stopped asking. Growing up, I fell in love with music dream to become a singer. And at 19, my dream finally came true when I got an invitation to audition for a famous all-girls group, the Masked Minx. These girls were super famous, but no one knew what they looked like because they always performed with a mask on. I was pretty excited, but the only thing was to convince Dad.
But I've never been away from you, and you're too young to travel alone. What if you get in some trouble?
Then come with me.
I wish I could, but I have a work trip coming up.
I just know if I had a mom, it would be easier for both of us. You could take me on this trip and you could go to work. Dad, well, I guess I am that unlucky. No, Mom, no trip sucks. But I know you're doing your best.
Hey, we're very lucky to have each other. I guess I can make some time and take you. But you have to promise that you'll quit bringing up these stories of your mom.
I promise.
And just like that, Dad and I were on a plane to London. The band had arranged for us to fly first class, and when we finally arrived, I was excited to be welcomed at the airport by a personal chauffeur. Soon after, we reached the hotel where we were staying, and it was also the venue for the auditions. I hugged my dad and entered the audition room, but it was empty. Just then, someone tapped on my shoulder. I turned around and almost passed out. It was a girl, and she had the exact same face as mine, only more polished and prettier.
Okay, I know that we have at least 7 people who look exactly like you, but dude, this is beyond freaky. Who are you?
Firstly, please don't touch me. I hate being touched. Too many germs. And secondly, I am Ava, and I'm your twin sister.
My what?
Ava went on to tell me about how we were twins, and that our parents separated shortly after we were born. She was raised by our mom while Dad stayed back in America with me. She was a singer too, but recently she discovered that she had laryngitis and her singing career was basically over.
I was the one who sent you the mail and called you here. I have a very important tour coming up, and since I can't sing, I need you to take my place. You'll get a lot of money, and I won't lose my contracts. If you do a good job, maybe I can get my friend in the USA to sign you for his record label.
Okay, slow down. Can we take a step back? You're one of the masked minks and you want me to sing for you?
That's right.
Are you crazy? I just found out I have a twin sister and my head is already spinning, and I'm so close to having a panic attack. Ooh, 1 second. Even if in some parallel reality this whole thing was true, I would still have to tell my dad about you.
Your dad? I mean, our dad can't know that we've met. I do not want him to get suspicious. Mom has always told me how Dad has hated her all her life. And now I don't want him to take you away. Please, Rue, help me!
How do I even know you're my sister?
Ava showed me a copy of my birth certificate and a few pictures of us together as babies, but I couldn't trust her. So before I agreed, I placed a condition.
I'll agree if you make me meet Mom.
Deal!
Dad was waiting for me in the hotel lobby. I felt so angry by looking at his face. How could he hide such a big truth from me? I wanted to confront Dad, but I also wanted to meet Mom, so I decided to stay quiet and go with the flow. I went back to my room and dozed off. And hours later, I was woken up by a frantic call from Ava.
I need to see you now! Come to the lobby and I'm sending a car!
I got dressed urgently and did as Ava asked. We met at a restaurant where Ava walked in with the most gorgeous guy on her arm. She introduced him as Jason, her boyfriend, and I just couldn't stop staring at how perfect he was.
I need you to convince Dad to pay $100,000 to my manager.
Yeah, he's very cute.
Wait, sorry, what?
I need money, and I promise you will get back much more money when I get you signed on at my friend's record label.
Why do you need so much money suddenly?
To make arrangements for my tour. Why else? Mom spent all the money I made on my treatment and I have no savings left. Please. If you do this, I will take you to see Mom. I promise.
I was a little taken aback, but I wanted to see my mom so desperately, so I agreed to help Ava out. But Dad would never let go of such a huge amount, so my only other option was Grandpa. He owned several big shopping malls all over the country, and he always told me that I could ask for anything. I called my grandpa and explained the situation to him. He was so happy that I finally met my twin. He apologized for not telling me all this time and promised to help with the money. The next day, Ava let me practice with her background singers and dancers, and I got such a rush out of it. She even let me sign some autographs for her fans on her behalf. I loved being in the spotlight. After the practice, Ava and I were on our way back when I asked her if I could meet Mom.
Not yet. Mom just had a minor heart attack last month, and seeing you might put her into shock, so we need to wait. Meanwhile, could you be a doll and get me some more money?
Why? I've already spent enough. Ava, I need to see Mom now, or I will call off the deal.
I asked the driver to stop the car and walked out feeling confused and angry. I wanted to cry because I had just lost my grandpa his $100,000 and I still hadn't seen my mom. I was outside the hotel when suddenly someone yanked at my arm. Jason,
what do you think you're doing?
Listen to me carefully, Rue. You have to get out of here. Ava and her mom are bad news. I heard Ava's mom talking about how they're going to drain your dad's finances. I think you're a really nice person, so please just tell your dad the truth and go back home.
And why should I trust you over my own family?
Because I know them. I've been with Ava long enough to know when she's lying, and her mother is no saint.
She's my mom too, and I think I'm old enough to know what's right and wrong. So thank you, but I'll take it from here.
Saying that, I turned around and left, but Jason's words kept ringing in my head. I couldn't sleep a wink that night, and the next morning, I decided to finally tell Dad everything, but he was nowhere to be found. So I went downstairs and saw him talking to a strange woman in the hotel lobby. I walked up to him, and when he saw me, he turned white.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same thing.
This is Claire, your mom. I am so sorry you had to find out like this. And I know you met your twin. Your grandpa called me after Claire called him demanding for $1 million. We will be heading home tomorrow. I was just saying goodbye.
So you're saying goodbye and I don't even deserve a hello. How is that fair?
Don't blame your dad, sweetie.
Don't call me sweetie. You know why I asked Ava to meet you? So I could stand in front of you and ask you how you could abandon your own child.
I could only afford to bring up one child, and I randomly picked Ava. Not that it was a good decision. She's pretty much useless now.
Your absolute disregard for humanity amazes me. And thank God I never got a chance to know you, or I would be the only kid in the world who hates their own mother.
I turned around and ran to my room. An hour later, Dad showed up and told me the whole truth about how Claire had been using the excuse of raising Ava alone to get money from both my dad and Grandpa. They kept it as a secret to protect me.
You could have told me the truth.
You would have gone behind her anyway, little birdie. I know you that much.
Dad and I left for home that night, but I couldn't go back without meeting Ava. So I asked her to meet me at the airport, and surprisingly, she showed up. I introduced her to Dad. He was so happy, and he hugged her and shed tears. Ava and I sat down and I told her about what Mom had said.
Mom didn't raise me. She gave me up at birth and I lived in an orphanage. I only got back with her a few years back when someone from the orphanage told her about my singing talent, and since then, she's been trying to use me as a money-making machine. I hate her.
Then come with us. Dad and I would love to have you.
I would love to, but I can't. I still have so many debts to pay because of Claire.
I tried to convince Ava, but she refused. And soon after, Dad and I boarded the flight and left. Weeks passed, but I felt an empty pit in my stomach every time I thought about Ava. She was all alone, fighting my dragon of a mother, and I had to do something to help her. So I turned to Jason for help.
I told you, stay away from her. She and her mom are crooked.
My mom's using Ava? Please, Jason. She's my sister and your girlfriend. We have to help her out.
Okay, this might be a long shot, but what if we do a concert as Eva? It'll be like a face reveal tour. I know a few people who could help us. Find a band and we will use social media to spread the word and see where it goes.
And what if I'm not that good?
I've heard you sing, Rue. You'll be just fine.
We spoke to Ava and she was on board. Jason came down the next week and we spent days planning every second of the concert. Even my grandpa stepped in to give us a little money. Our posts on social media were very well received, and soon enough, almost all the tickets were sold out. Then one night I was grabbing coffee when I saw Jason at the same cafe, engrossed in a book that seems like a heavy read.
It's about kids who grew up in an orphanage. I was one of them.
I'm sorry, Jason. That must have been tough.
It was, but it made me who I am. And besides, I found a great family who loves me and adores me. You learn to find family in unexpected places.
Our conversation flowed from there. We talked about our pasts, our dreams, our fears. I shared about the loneliness I felt growing up without a mother, and he spoke of the challenges of growing up without a family at all. I'd never connected with anyone like this before, and it was truly amazing. One night before the performance, I was nervously checking out the stage when Jason slid his hand inside mine. I just hope it works.
I'm sure it will. And Drew, it's amazing what you're doing for Ava. Not everyone has this kind of heart.
Not everyone gets a second chance with their families either. Trust me, I'm doing this for myself.
Jason came forward, gently stroked my cheeks, and I felt my face on fire. And before I could react, he leaned in and kissed me, but I pushed him away.
This is not right. You're with Ava.
No, I'm not. Ava and I were just dating for the public. Trust me, we mean nothing to each other.
She's still my sister, and you and I have to respect that.
I walked away from Jason knowing I really wanted the kiss, but family is more important. So I decided to put my feelings aside and concentrate on the bigger picture. The next night was the concert, and it was a huge hit. We collected a lot of money, and when Ava found out, she was beyond happy. That night, I slept with the best feeling ever. But the next morning, my dad shook me awake, and then he told me the most shocking news of my life. Apparently, Ava had turned down my offer to move in with me and Dad, and instead, she slapped me with a legal notice for impersonating her without her permission. The only way she would take her complaint back was if my dad agreed to pay her $10 million. I feel so stupid for wanting to help her.
It's not your fault. I guess she's just more like your mom than you thought.
I could not stop crying, because I knew this was going to make me and Dad so poor. I had to come up with a solution before we ended up homeless. So, I decided to approach Ava, but my calls and messages went unanswered. I was running out of options when a couple of days later, Ava showed up at my front door, along with Jason.
What are you doing here?
I ran away. I'm finally free.
Free to do what? Brand me as a liar? I tried to help you, and you threatened to sue me.
It wasn't me. It was all Claire's idea.
Apparently, Claire had taken all of Ava's phones, and she was the one who had sent the notice in Ava's name.
I'd gone back home to talk to Ava in person, but she was missing.
I tried to tell her how wrong this was, but she just locked me up. But somehow I ran away and hid at my friend's place till Jason found me. I'm so sorry, Rue.
It's okay. All that matters is that now you're here and you're safe.
I hugged Ava tight, and the two of us told Dad everything. He got the best lawyers. And with Ava's testimony, Claire landed in jail for exploiting a minor against her will and cheating Dad out of his money. She just called the house one day and begged me to take her back as our mom.
I made a mistake. Please forgive me. I'm your mother. You can't send me to jail.
Oh, yes, we can. Just like you sent Ava to an orphanage. And just like you abandoned me and my father, now it's time for payback. And you're gonna get yours.
Dang right you will. Soon after Mom went to jail, Ava and I decided to share our story with the world, and it was very well received. We became famous and even launched our music careers. I sang and Ava played the piano. One day, as we were done performing, Ava hugged me tight and whispered in my ear,
Jason's here to see you. Don't worry. He told me everything about how you both are pigeon heads and were ready to sacrifice your love for me.
So you don't have a problem?
No, dummy. I never loved him the way you do. Go on. He's all yours.
I was so happy, I rushed backstage and saw Jason waiting for me. Without thinking, I threw my arms around him and pulled him in.
I know too much has happened, but I'm ready to move on if you are.
I'm 10 steps ahead of you, babe.
I learned that sometimes the people related to you can hurt you the most, and you always have to be ready for anything.
Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm from Ohio. Please like and subscribe. My parents always dreamt of being world-famous singers, but they could never become anything more than background vocals. So when me and my sister Tanya were born, Dad taught me all about music, while Tanya was Mom's favorite, 'cause she was the pretty one. Everyone admired her emerald green eyes and blonde hair. Once when we were 5, a woman even tried to steal her from the park.
Let go of my sister or I'm gonna scream.
It'll give you $10, kid. Let go of her hand.
Tanya and I struggled until she let go and ran away. Before the police came, Tanya hugged me tight.
Anna, you saved me.
No one touches you on my watch, sis.
Even growing up, she always had everyone's attention, whereas I enjoyed my simple life. But then in 10th grade, things took a wild turn. One day after school, we got home to see Dad being rushed to the hospital. He had a heart attack. A week passed by and we found out he wasn't going to get better unless he had this really expensive surgery. And we didn't have money for it. Mom was thinking about selling the house when out of the blue she got a phone call. After she hung up, she screamed like crazy.
My former agent told me they're looking for new talent and they're gonna pay huge money.
She told us about a music audition that was happening in another week and asked us to grab the opportunity. On the day of the audition, everyone was stunned by Tanya's looks. But when she opened her mouth, they all covered her ears.
Hello, from the other side.
Someone grabbed the mic from her hands or shut off the speakers. I can't stand her voice.
Well, he was over-exaggerating, but not entirely. Tanya couldn't sing a note, not even in the bathroom. A few minutes later, it was my turn, and when I started singing, the producers looked mesmerized.
You come and wake me every night. You say you missed the concept of you and I.
After a long discussion, they announced they were going to sign both of us. But there was one condition. They wanted me to sing. But in the background for Tanya, she would lip sync to my voice.
No, that's wrong. We won't be doing that.
But Tanya held my hand with teary eyes.
Please, sis, you have to do this. We need the money.
But Tanya...
Anna, my love, the future of our family rests on your shoulders. Now, think about your dad. Think about our family, honey.
So, I agreed.
After we signed the deal, all of Dad's hospital bills were paid, and he came back home all healthy in a month. And then it was just me and Tanya and the non-ending music videos and tours around the country. Everywhere Tanya went, people would go crazy for her. These people were nuts. And clearly this was getting to Tanya's head, because when we returned to school after summer break, she started acting like a queen and a bully.
Get out of my seat! That's my spot! Don't you know who I am?
The guy didn't even flinch and kept munching on his sandwich, and Tanya looked as furious as a dragon.
Hey, it's okay. We can take another seat. Maybe he can't hear.
But she just picked up a bottle full of mustard and dumped it on his head.
You've gotta be frickin' kidding me?
I'm sorry about my sister. She's a little. Please let it go. He'll pay for your jacket later.
I grabbed Tanya's hand as I pulled her out of there.
Have you lost your mind?
Didn't you see he was acting as if he didn't know me?
Tanya, you're not the president, and you should.
Whatever. Anna, you didn't have to say sorry to him. He's a jerk.
Saying that, she stormed away. Ugh, such a diva. Later, after school was over, I went into the music room to practice my singing. But just as I finished, I heard someone clap behind me, and I was shocked to see the guy from the cafeteria. Brandon.
That voice. That's your sister's voice when she sings, isn't it?
Oh God, what now? But he didn't know anything for sure.
I thought you didn't know her, and now you know her voice.
I never said that. She just assumed it. I know who she is, and now I know her little secret.
You know nothing.
With every sentence, he kept getting closer. As I was backing away, I tripped over something and he caught me.
What are you even doing here? Everyone's gone.
But you're still here, and you kinda owe me something. You said you'll pay for my jacket. I'm here to collect the money.
Right? What was I even thinking? I gave him some money from my bag and ran out of there. A few days later, while I was in the library, Tanya came to me.
I want you to go and give this to Brandon and tell him that I want to meet him at the cafe tonight.
What? Why? What are you up to now?
Didn't you see? He ignored me. He isn't like the other guys who were running after me 24/7. I like him. I want him. I want to make him my freaking boyfriend.
Well, then you go and talk to him. Why should I do it?
Because of me. Duh. I'm a superstar. I can't make the first move. I don't want to look desperate. Do it for me, please.
Reluctantly, I left a note on his table and asked him to come to the cafe and ran out of there. Later, Tanya asked me to tag along, and just when we reached the cafe, she saw some random people with cameras there.
Oh no, paparazzi. I can't be seen with anyone. My contract doesn't allow me to date publicly. Anna.
But what about Brandon? He is waiting for you.
Can you please go and tell him I'll see him tomorrow at school? Okay, thanks. Bye.
Saying that, she ran into a cab and rode away. Now I had no choice but to inform Brandon myself.
So I went in. Hey, I'm sorry, but...
I thought you wouldn't come and that this was some stupid prank. But I'm glad you're here.
What? Me? Wait, did he think I was the one who called him here? Shoot, I wanted to tell him everything. But he looked so happy to see me and he'd ordered all my favorite food items. I thought I could wait another few minutes before telling him. But as time went by, things just kept getting better and better. He was pretty cool. After our little date, he walked me back home. This was my chance to tell him the truth. But he just pulled me in for a kiss. And gosh, it was amazing. Suddenly, I heard Tanya coming out the front door, and I pushed him away into the bushes and rushed in. The next day, I was looking for him everywhere to tell him the truth. But I found Tanya was already talking to him in the corridor.
Freaking fishes! What do you mean you don't like me? Then why did you show up at the cafe last night?
What? Are you crazy? I wasn't waiting for you. I was there for Anna. I wouldn't date someone as mean as you, even if you were the last girl on Earth.
How dare you!
Tanya slapped him hard and ran out of there, and all the kids were recording everything on their phones. This was bad. I ran after Tanya, but she pushed me away.
Get lost. Anna, I told you I liked him, but you trapped him first.
Tanya, stop it. I didn't do anything. He liked me from the beginning, and you sent me to him.
Yeah, it was my biggest mistake thinking I could trust you. Traitor, witch.
She jumped onto me and grabbed my hair, and we broke into a huge fight. Mom and Dad were called in, and the principal showed them the videos the kids had recorded. He said Tanya's behavior was getting worse day by day, and she was suspended for a month. I felt so bad and went to hug her later that night and told her I wasn't going to see Brandon anymore, and she immediately hugged me. But when I went to my room, Brandon was already waiting there.
Why are you avoiding me? And what was your sis talking about today?
Brandon, you can't be here. Get out now.
Hey, why do you look so tense? Tell me what happened.
He pulled me close into his arms and I just melted. I told him everything honestly. And then he looked into my eyes.
I won't force you to like me, but if you do, I won't let anyone keep you away from me, Anna.
He moved in to kiss me, but just then Tanya came into my room with a fire extinguisher in her hand and sprayed it all over us.
I knew it, you ugly cow. I knew you're a filthy backstabber, and I'm gonna destroy you both.
Suddenly, Mom and Dad came running too, and she was taken back to her room, and I was grounded for a week for inviting a boy. We had a big concert soon, and though I was super mad at Tanya, I still had to help her because of our contract. As usual, I was singing backstage while the entire crowd was cheering for Tanya. After the performance was over, she was given an award for star performer. Even Mom and Dad were called on stage.
You guys must feel truly blessed to have a daughter with the voice of an angel.
It's an honor. We're so lucky to have her.
For some reason, I felt really left out and I smashed my mic on the ground. Just then, someone from the audience asked Tanya to dedicate a song to Mom. Holy moly! Tanya made this gesture with her hands. That was my cue to sing every time. But my mic, it was lying broken on the floor. She started singing without me, and everyone in the audience heard her real voice. Oh my God! A wave of silence passed through the audience, and Tanya looked at me super mad. The crowd started chanting that she was a fraud who did lip syncing. They went mad and started climbing onto the stage. The bodyguards immediately took Tanya and my parents away to safety and left me there all by myself. How could they? I ran out of the venue and I was raging mad. I did so much for them and they didn't care about me one bit. But when I reached home, I was shocked to see a huge crowd gathered in front of my house. What in the world was happening just then? My phone went buzzing like crazy with videos and messages from everyone. Tanya's bullying and lip-syncing videos were going viral, and someone uploaded my video as the real singer to Holy Mother of Jesus. I quickly went into the house through the back door, and on seeing me, Tanya viciously threw a vase at me. Just then, I saw all the singing awards and trophies she was burning in the fireplace.
Oh my God, have you gone crazy? Why would you do that? What were you thinking, trying to ruin me? What? Are you kidding me? It was an accident. Oh, was it? Or is it because you want some fame for yourself now? Just remember this, you witchin. People hear your voice because of my face. Otherwise, no one would ever pay you, even if you sang on the roadside.
Who was this monster?
You're such a mean, self-absorbed brat, Tanya. I can't believe you'd say that to me when the fact is, you're only a star because of my voice. Without me, you're just a pretty dumb face.
Tanya pulled the scissors nearby and rushed at me with all her force.
You took away everything from me, the guy I loved, my reputation at school, and now my fame, too. I'm gonna kill you.
Thankfully, Mom and Dad came in and stopped her just in time.
Stop this madness right now. I can't believe we were so blinded by your beauty and fame that we never realized what a monster you were turning into.
Dad grabbed the scissors from her hand and threw them away.
Anna, we're so sorry. We've never truly appreciated you for everything you've done for us. You're the daughter that every parent would be proud of. Please forgive us.
Oh, Mom, Dad, Ugh, you people are just morons. And I'm not letting go of my fame so easily. Watch this. I'm gonna walk out, and everyone is still gonna love me.
Tanya opened the front door and walked out, and all the media surrounded her.
So is it true you can't sing? And that creepy frog voice we heard, was it your real voice?
And who's the real singer? Is she your sister? We want to see her. You're just fake trash.
Just then, a bunch of anti-fans started throwing eggs and rotten tomatoes at her. She was screaming like crazy and pushing through the crowd to get to her car, and well, I was enjoying it. She was totally getting what she deserved. I thought I'd get a better view for my room, so I went up and found Brandon there. I immediately hugged him.
Whoa, the truth's all out now, and I can't believe I'm dating the real star. I'm excited for your famous life now.
No, Brandon, I just want a peaceful life. And if you're with me to enjoy some kind of popularity, you got the wrong girl.
No, babe, I don't care about what you choose. Just as long as I can be with you always.
Hi, I'm Maria, and it's time for me to tell you my story. Oh, before get start, please like and subscribe. Lori and I lived in an orphanage in Paris, where the love spreading every corner, from heart-shaped pastries, flower shops, balloons, and even street vendors under the Eiffel Tower. Imagine how sweet it would be to get proposed to in such a romantic place. Yep, love was everywhere except where we lived. My first memory is of the nuns endlessly scolding us.
Hey, stray kittens! Clean the room if you want to have lunch.
What did we do wrong? Why do they hate us so much? Why? We don't have parents?
Don't cry. Everything's gonna be okay.
Lori is 2 years older than me. She's sharp, gorgeous, and super kind. She's right. When we were 10 years old, a wealthy family adopted us. We had an absolutely super awesome life, with family parties, traveling together, and experiencing things we never even dared to dream of before. Dreams are just dreams. One day, my adopted dad's company went under. This caused a huge conflict between my parents, and they continuously blamed each other.
You're such a moron! Why don't you ever listen to me?
Don't you dare trust a woman who knows nothing except a few recipes?
Hey Maria, I bought you a new doll. Let's play with it.
Lori, what's happening? Why is Dad mad at Mom?
Never mind, it's an adult thing.
She immediately took my hand and led me to my room. I knew it wasn't just adult things. Everything was going wrong. I felt like my whole world was about to crash. But one thing I was sure of, Lori would always be by my side, through the highs and lows. What goes around comes around. My parents divorced, and after that, Dad abandoned us to go to Germany. My poor mom realized her mistake and locked herself in her room day after day, and Lori became my reluctant parent.
time for bed. I said no using your phone before going to sleep.
You're not my mom!
Why did you skip school today? Your teacher called me.
It's none of your business. Are you trying to control me?
Honestly, I've driven Lori crazy. I'm a naughty kid, and she's an inexperienced parent. Aside from that, I'm her dream destroyer. Lori has to study while working a part-time job to raise me. Due to exhaustion, she dozed off during her college entrance exam. At that moment, I felt guilty. My selfishness had ruined her future, so I won't make her sad anymore. I'll study hard, do house chores, and sometimes go on YouTube to learn how to make her favorite dishes.
Oh, it's so yummy. Thank you, sweetie.
A few years later, while working part-time at a nearby bakery, I noticed a handsome, gentle guy staring at me. Feeling uncomfortable, I decided to stare back at him to make him feel shy. OMG, it seems like he's not a noob.
Hey loser, take your eyes down. Didn't anyone teach you that your behavior is impolite?
He suddenly made some noise.
1 chocolate pastry, please.
Oh, sorry, we've run out of chocolate ones.
What about that ones?
I'm confused and cosplay a statue for a second.
1 chocolate for? Name!
Daniel.
It costs €5.
He gave me 200 and told me to keep the change with a wink.
Nice try, idiot! But if you think you can get my phone number with that, you're wrong! Take the money and get out!
Oh, cooling down! I'm just a generous guy, no man. By the way, your eyes are as beautiful as Aphrodite's.
And then he fled. I wish I could stuff this money into his dirty mouth. Wait, I don't need to do that. I can use the money to buy something for my sister. You know, he didn't make it easy for me. This rich jerk kept coming back every day, and I always noticed he had a bodyguard waiting outside. One day, he came in when the shop was completely empty.
I won't go anywhere until you give me your number.
Okay. Next time I hope you bring some clothes and a toothbrush. Oh, and by the way, the toilet just broke down.
Maria, you know, I'm not a selfish jerk. I'm an awesome guy.
Wrong. If you're so amazing, then why are you acting like a stalker just to get my phone number?
That's because I like tough challenges. Besides, I can't get you out of my mind.
Why don't you use some money to get a brand new head?
I tried, but my hair is just too nice.
I'd rather jump off a cliff than let you carry out any of your intentions, weirdo!
Wow, let's see!
In the weeks that followed, he showed up at the shop with luxury items like the Montmartre crew, cars filling the store, and customers unable to get in. Eventually, my boss got angry and told me to handle the situation, or I'd be fired. Of course, I couldn't lose my job. I had to help Lori with the household expenses. So, I gave in and gave him my phone number, planning to block him afterward. I told my friends what happened, and they all burst out laughing and started showing me pictures of him on the internet. It turned out he wasn't just a rich kid, but also a famous actor. Surprisingly, he wasn't that bad after all. He was insanely romantic. One day, I mentioned I was craving pizza, so he insisted on going to Hawaii for lunch. I thought he managed to get last-minute plane tickets to the US, but it turned out we went by private jet.
You know, Maria, when I first met you and realized you had no idea who I was, I felt truly excited. I intended to show you who I am after you kept letting me down. However, I prefer someone who doesn't know about my reputation.
If you had said something sooner, everything would be better. I thought you were psycho.
I did say let's see, didn't I?
I hesitate to bring Daniel home because of our rundown house and my sick mother. Only when I am sure he truly loves me and accepts me no matter what will he be allowed to visit. I invite Daniel to dinner, and when Lori finds out, she freaks out on me.
Look at you! Maria, you've been spending too much time with him? Men are just trouble and liars. You should focus on your studies to get into a good college instead of dating a flashy guy.
Sis, I'm not a kid anymore. Don't worry, I can handle both. Daniel promised that he will go public with our relationship, and he'll take me to all his events. He will also travel with me wherever we want.
My sister's almost going crazy.
I worked so hard to earn money and gave up my dreams just for you to live in a silly fairy tale with a man? Poor me, my Cinderella.
I'm grateful for everything you've done. You've treated me like a real sister, but I can't keep that in my mind forever. I've made my choice too. Now can you stop worrying about me and go back to school?
Ha ha, Maria, you've lost your mind. You've just met this guy. You're not his first love, and I'm sure you won't be his last. Before long, he'll leave you just like Dad left us. What will you do then, kitten?
It seems like you're jealous of me for having a romantic love. Just leave me alone.
But she didn't give up easily. One day, I came back from a trip to Italy and found Lori waiting for me in the dark.
Sit down.
What the heck? You weirdo, you scared me.
I think you should check this out.
What's this?
Your prince isn't as amazing as you think. I hired a private detective to follow him, and I found something crazy. See for yourself.
Lori threw the phone at me. I couldn't believe she'd go this far. Where did she get the money to do this? On the phone, I saw photos of Daniel at bars with some chicks and screenshots of him replying to other girls' stories on Instagram. That didn't really bother me, but then I saw a photo of him having dinner with his ex, and they were holding hands. I felt disgusted and almost threw up. I couldn't believe it. Lori was right. Daniel had been on a business trip for 2 weeks. I blocked his number and blocked him on all social media. I also promised Lori I would never see that cheater again, but I missed him. Unable to unblock him, I decided to watch his latest movie. Standing on the sofa, immersed in the film with my favorite large pizza, my tears added a touch of salt. I was crying like a kid. Suddenly, I was startled by something outside the window. Daniel had somehow climbed up to the second-floor window. I quickly opened it before he fell and got hurt. After all, his most valuable asset was his money-making face.
Daniel, what are you doing?
Oh well, I couldn't reach you any other way, and your sister wouldn't let me in through the front door. So, I had to climb up from the first floor. Can you please tell me what's wrong with you?
Do you think I'm stupid? Did you really think I wouldn't find out about your cheating?
What? What are you talking about?
I told you, I know everything you've done, the flirting messages with other girls, and the romantic dinner with your ex.
I threw him the phone with the evidence of his cheating. Surprisingly, Daniel burst out laughing and patted my head.
Oh my darling, you're so naive. They're my cousins. And those messages, they're from a very famous fake account. Every fan knows that account is a fake.
All right, what about the private dinner?
Oh, actually, I was set up. I got a call from someone claiming to be a famous director who wanted to meet with me for his upcoming blockbuster film. So I went, and it turned out that my ex received a similar call. Because her dad had just passed away, I was holding her hand to soothe her. I didn't realize that it would turn into such a stupid picture that would make you upset.
Huh? You think I would believe your words?
Of course, I still have evidence.
He walked closer to me and showed me a video recording of the entire conversation. Everything he said was true.
By the way, where did you get those stupid pictures? Did you hire someone to follow me?
Daniel leaned in close to my face.
You're delusional! They were thrown straight at me. Don't think I'm blinded by jealousy.
Darling, you're right, but you're crying because of me!
Because of your film exactly.
I hit him with a pillow, and he laughed with delight. Then he hugged me. The next day, while Lori was cooking, I approached her and told her everything, but she seemed really weird.
And you believe him? You're so naive. Maria?
At least he's more reliable than you or that stupid detective. He's an honest man who loves and cares for me. Why do you always judge him? Why are you trying to break us up?
You're my sister. I only care about you.
Lori sighed and walked over to me.
You're right. I think I can give him a chance. I was just trying to protect you. I'm afraid you'll be hurt like you were in the orphanage and when Dad abandoned us.
I thought everything was going well, and God was on my side. But soon after, everything exploded right in front of my face. One morning, while I was watching the news, I saw a photo of Daniel being arrested alongside a notorious mafia boss.
Top celeb accused of smuggling drugs? Could this be the end of his career and life?
I'm trembling, but then I suddenly realize Lori is standing behind the chair with a smug smile.
Lori!
My scream shakes the house as I lunge at Lori. Even Mom is startled and runs outside when she sees us brawling on the floor.
You're a jerk! How dare you humiliate Daniel and throw him into jail!
Oh, calm down, stray cat. I did this just for you.
Just for me? Liar! Destroying my relationships in someone's life? How could you do this? Did Daniel do something wrong to you? You're a devil in disguise!
Lori's face turned red, and she started yelling.
Your problem is that you think you deserve to go off and live your fairy tale life with your rich, perfect boyfriend while I've sacrificed everything for you. What? Am I just supposed to stay here and take care of our sick mom? After giving up all my dreams and everything for you? This is how you repay me? Ungrateful thing!
Finally! You admitted it! You're just a spiteful, jealous, and selfish person!
She lunged at me again. Our horrifying fight continued until both of us were bruised. And eventually, my mom intervened. I ran away and locked myself in my room. How could I ever tell Daniel that it was my own sister who had sent him to prison and ruined his family's reputation? I tried to call Daniel, but all connections seemed to be blocked. I was desperate and locked myself in my room. The next few days, while I was in my room, I heard police sirens outside. Mom and I quickly came out of the room, only to see the police taking Lori away.
You will be detained for creating false evidence to frame someone else. You have the right to remain silent.
Lori, I didn't do this.
I know, Maria, I did it.
Lori confessed. But why? I rushed to the prison to meet her.
Why did you do this?
I couldn't bear to see you suffer. Ever since I was young, I was abandoned. And even when I had parents, my father left too. I feared that one day you would leave with your guy, and I would be left alone and in pain. I was truly envious and selfish, Daniel made you happy, and you deserve that.
Didn't say a word. I knew Lori truly regretted what she had done and was now facing the consequences. I thought I would never see Daniel again and that he would stay away from me forever. But one day, we ran into each other by chance on the street. We started dating, and he proposed to me under the Eiffel Tower. We had a dream wedding, and I felt like I had a truly happy family.